Sure enough, that's where they were. It was awful. I got the impression from both of them that they both kind of didn't know why they were there and really kind of thought it was temporary.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Boarding Pass. I am your pilot, Denzel Whitaker, joined by...
Your co-pilot, Jayden Choi.
Woo! What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. How are you?
Man, we're not matching today. What happened? You didn't get the memo?
Nah, I didn't get the dress code today.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, carrier pigeon. I got to send that out next time, you know? With the rising gas prices, I guess they didn't send my mail in time.
No, these days it's a tough situation, you know.
Yeah,
Mails
man.
don't come in on time.
That's fair. How was your weekend? Huh?
It was busy actually for a weekend
Okay.
because I was working on a set and
Congratulations.
thank you. It was
We,
very
we,
fun.
we love when we making artistic moves. Come on, give
I
me
know.
some snaps.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm getting all the energies from you and all the guests that we interview on our episodes, obviously. And, you know, we try to keep it positive. It's helping me, definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, listen, man, I bring that up just because this was a weekend for me of connecting with family.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
What did you do?
Connecting with my mom, my sister came in town. You know, we were hanging out, just playing cards, whatever it may be. But wisdom, I think, is most important. It was so fascinating to watch my mom. We had some friends over, and she pulled some of the ladies aside, and she was just giving game. You know, just
Mm,
giving game about her life, her marriage, you know, what it means to be a partner, to be a wife, etc. And it's just really interesting the wisdom that we can learn from people who have been on this earth longer than us. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
100%, 100%. And we
Thousand
always,
percent.
there's always so much to learn from, like, you know, generally people who you love and who's, like you said, who's been here before we did. And we got to learn from them, you know? It's a gift.
You know, when we're young, we think time is infinite. As we get older, we learn how precious it is, right? I think that leads right into our guest today. Why don't you go ahead and check us in?
Sounds good. Today's guest name is Bonnie Matchinga, nationality USA, occupation producer and director, and the most important fun fact, a talent scout discovered Bonnie in a high school production of Bye Bye Birdie, which eventually got her to New York City.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
That's where you're at. Okay, well, we got some things in common.
I'm
Listen,
excited.
everybody in the Inspo Lounge, our frequent flyers, please, please, please welcome to the stage Bonnie Matchinga. Come on in.
Woo!
How you doing, Bonnie?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here with you.
Oh no, we're happy to have you. We're happy to have you. Tell us something. Okay, so the fun fact, right? You were discovered. A talent scout discovered you for Bye Bye Birdie, right? Was that a dream of yours? Were you chasing being an actress? What led you to New York?
Actually, yes, and yes, and yes. I had been studying dance since I was 5 years old. I lived in this little small town. There was a wonderful teacher who had a small theater, and she taught classical ballet and tap, and we called it jazz back then, and modern. And so I was involved with that kind of atmosphere since I was five. And it carried on through up into high school. And the fun fact you mentioned was that I did get the lead in Bye Bye Birdie. I played Rosie, and a talent scout did come and see the play, and I was invited to apply to Northwestern, but I didn't have the funds to go there, and it was too late in their applications season for me to get a scholarship. But apparently, someone from the American Musical and Dramatic Academy, which was a startup that year, must have come to, because I did get an invitation to go to New York. And because my sister lived there, who was a working actor, my parents allowed me to go and stay with her. I was pretty young. I was 18, so I had a place to stay. And so I went to the academy for almost the full year. But my parents felt that maybe I should be getting a little more academia. So I actually dropped out and went to Ohio State for another year. But I clawed my way back to New York, but not to pursue acting. I went into interior design
Oh.
and went to the New York School of Interior Design.
Wow.
I went there for a year and got my degree in interior decorating. But I was always wanting to be out in the world, working, doing. I really didn't like going to school. So I thought, all right, I had the degree in decorating. I'm going to get a job. Well, not really. That wasn't going to happen because you couldn't get a job without experience, and you can't get experience without a job.
Oh,
But
classic chicken and egg
yep,
experience.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough that my sister knew someone in a production company, a large production company. It was called MPO. She couldn't get me a job there, but I was able to get one in another company. Back then, there were larger production companies. It was called Filmex, and I worked there for a little while. Then, as luck would have it, I did find a job in a small production company, and at that time they were referred to as boutiques.
Mm.
Okay.
And this particular boutique company specialized in television commercials, as did these other companies that I mentioned. As luck would have it, this was just a brand new company, just starting out, had like three or four people, was not located in a large facility like didn't have a stage. It didn't have a full staff. It didn't have crew on staff. It wasn't like that at all. Everything was freelance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the
Were you guys working out of an office space or were you working
Yeah,
remote or?
it was an office space. It was on 55th Street,
Mm-hmm.
right near Fifth Avenue. It was a brownstone, and we had one whole level. It was basically, like it was a brownstone. It was a nice, you could live there actually. And I started out I didn't really know much of anything. And the director and producer, I don't know why they even gave me the job because I really didn't know anything. But I think they thought that I could handle it. So they hired me, and I just kind of started out like taking care of the office. I didn't know much about that either, but I kind of learned. And I shadowed the producer quite a bit, and I learned how to do a lot of things, run the office, pay the bills, I hired the crew. I actually did assisted him with some of the bidding to get these commercials that we did. But the director is who my real mentor was. He had been I think he was the head of the Film Institute at City College in New York.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
But from there, he went to an advertising agency, a very well-known advertising agency. It was called J. Walter Thompson, and he was a producer there. But he wanted to direct, so that's why he left and opened this. It may have been the first boutique type production company
Sure,
ever.
sure. I mean, listen, that's almost kind of common now in San Francisco. Anybody starting a tech company, they working out of their garage.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
right, right,
but
right.
but let me ask you a question because like, just following your journey even up into this point, coming out for Broadway, moving back, jumping into interior design. It seems like you always had like a desire to be a creative within these spaces. So then
Yeah.
you work for this boutique production house, so to speak. And it more so sounds like you're doing maybe like the paperwork or just kind of learning the infrastructure or whatnot. Was there a desire to do more creatively in that space, or were you just kind of like getting your footing and just learning the environment?
Well, at first it was getting my
Okay.
footing,
Yeah.
but soon after I had shadowed the producer that was there. Soon after that, probably maybe a year into it, I learned how to do a lot of the background stuff. But he left.
Oh.
They were partners. They split, and the producer went to an advertising agency, and the director called me into his office and he said, "Hey, kid." He always called me kid because he was quite a bit older and I was pretty young still. "Hey, kid, you want to be a producer?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I want to be a producer." And he said, "Okay, you're a producer. produce. And he handed me a bid form.
Yeah.
He had gotten a request for a bid. He handed it to me, and I made the bid, and we got the job.
Oh, amazing.
And I was a producer.
Yeah.
Just like
Trust
that.
trust me,
But
little known secret, that's how most producers survive in this industry. They do the exact same thing. They call
Damn.
themselves a producer until they finally produce.
right.
Wow.
What
So
time period was this? Just to set the background, like what year was this around?
1966, I think.
1966. Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
very madman-ish.
Mad Men. Whoa, it definitely was Mad Men.
What, the environment or just like the advertisement agency or
Well, not my environment.
okay.
I these two men, and especially the director, he really did become my mentor.
Yeah.
He gave me a video it wasn't a video camera. It was a 16 millimeter Aeroflex. He just handed it to me, and he taught me a few basic things. And he because I really was creative, and I guess he did see that in me. He gave me that to go out and just make movies with. I didn't really do a full-fledged movie, but I would do little short things. He gave me that, and he also gave me a still camera, which I did become very interested in, and I did do a lot of still photography, and I still do actually.
Oh,
That's
that's
pretty
amazing.
impressive.
He just was a wonderful director to watch. I did go out on all of the shoots. We did shoot on some stages in the city that you could rent. There were a lot of those, but most of our work was done on location, and I did everything in terms of getting the locations. First, I got the job, and then if we were shooting on location, I scouted them. I did everything. I hired the crew. I did the payroll. I did a lot of. I just did everything, and he encouraged me. And being a female producer was non-existent, especially in the commercial world. At first, I think eventually there were other women doing it, but I did everything, and he was there every step of the way, teaching me what to do. That's how I got into the guild. I got into the guild as a unit production manager, and then it's kind of a backward way of doing it. But because everything I did had been production oriented, the Directors Guild accepted me as a UPM because that was what I knew really how to do. I hadn't been skilled in being an AD at all.
Speaking of Directors Guild, we were told that after you joined the Directors Guild, then that's when you had a little transition out to LA from New York.
I actually became the member of the guild while I was still in New York.
Okay.
And I became a second AD in addition to the UPM. I became a second AD. That happened before I left New York, but it was I became active in that category because I got married. I found Jim and I got married, and we both wanted to move to the West Coast. I had worked in LA many times, as in San Francisco, many times, because we shot on location a lot. So I thought, oh, okay, why don't we move out to LA? So we moved here. That's when I started working as a second AD. I actually got hired on a job. It was a feature film that shot back in New York.
And the main thing that keeps playing in my mind is like, immediately your journey just kind of shoots off here and then it takes you over here. And 1 minute you're just kind of like malleable to the process. Like, what was your family thinking about all this?
My parents were supportive.
That's amazing. No, that support means the world. We talk about it all the time on this show. Just,
Yeah, we really do.
having somebody in your corner, especially because it's such a ambitious career opportunity to chase something like this. There's no foundation, there's no stability. So the fact that you had that support is very, very important. To our knowledge, first of all, you have a dog, or you had a dog?
German Shepherd and a little Afghan mix.
Now you had an epiphany one day walking, Maggie. Is that correct? Like you had like a big shift?
Well, yeah, I think that really was the biggest shift in my life, aside from getting married.
Okay.
Wow, what happened?
I discovered a case of elder abuse which is something that I probably knew existed, but never heard it mentioned, didn't know anything really about it. But my
Mm-hmm.
gut instinct just kicked in almost immediately when I discovered, and it's because of Maggie. I was walking on one side of the street, and one of the neighbor ladies who lived across the street from this elderly women told me that were suddenly not there anymore. Someone had taken them out of their home and that there was someone else there.
Hmm?
And my dog dragged me after we were done. She kind of pulled me across the street to this house. It's like one street over from where I live. The door was open. The front door to this house was open, and the dog just took Maggie just took me up the steps and went right into the house. It was one of those leashes, that expands and you can haul in or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I didn't haul her in. I just let her go in. She went in, and this tall woman came like rushing out. And Maggie got a little scared, came running out. And I asked her what happened to these elderly women because I did know them. And I did know that they were having difficulties financially. I had taken the younger daughter to the supermarket and witnessed some difficulty she was having just doing that. And the older woman, she was 92, and her daughter was 63, and her daughter had some mental health issues as well. She told me that they had purchased, she and her husband, who was a minister, and I did know of his existence. He was a minister, and they had purchased the house, and that they had placed the ladies in a assisted living facility. And I don't know, I felt a little weird. I knew she was trying to shoo me away, okay, lady, goodbye. You're, done. She kind of like closed the door on us. And so Maggie and I went on our walk, and I felt a little uneasy about what I had heard. And the next day, I had an appointment somewhere south of where I live, and I was driving up, coming home, and I noticed off to the from the driver's side building that said nursing home. And I'm like, oh, this is like a seedy kind of neighborhood. It really wasn't a dumpy looking building. And I just like was, ooh, I'm going to go check this out. So I did.
Mm-hmm.
I turned around, I went back, I went in, and I asked if these two ladies were there. And sure enough, that's where they were.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It was awful. I visited the women, and I got the impression from both of them that they both kind of didn't know why they were there and really kind of thought it was temporary.
Oh, wow.
Mm,
It turned out it was neither of those things, but they still did not know why they were there. And the older woman, one time on a visit, she asked me if I would take her home.
mm,
And of course, I couldn't. And by that time, I really had I had investigated quite a bit, and some of the neighbors had joined in with checking things out to see just what had happened there. And it turns out that this minister, he actually was a minister too, that he had gotten them to sign power of attorneys first. Then he took out a loan against their home, which he spent most of. And then when that money ran out, he needed to refinance their home to get more. So, but rather than doing that under their name, he talked them into gifting the house to them,
wow.
Oh, boy.
which they did do, which is why they were where they were. And I'd had a great deal of difficulty getting the system to help because there at that time there was not really a system in place for that kind of abuse.
Sure.
Oh
So
my God.
I
And
was persistent.
if I may ask, where were you in age at this point? Like,
I was in my 40s.
I'm wondering, at the age of 40, what really resonated with you that made this a call to action? What really like sparked that flame in you, so to speak?
I was brought up to respect older people. My grandparents were quite old. My mother always took care of them. So I had probably that already there. I think your last point of, was it like a call to action? This is wrong. That was very much there. I have always kind of been like that, that I wanted to do do things right. If I saw something wrong, I wanted to fix it. So yeah, it was mostly that.
And what have you learned along this journey? Like what have you discovered being an advocate for elderly abuse?
Well, as I've gotten older myself, I've discovered that it kind of stems, the ability to commit such an act stems from some kind of ageism that is learned. I think, like in my case, I learned to respect older people. Other people may not be getting that education, that kind of ethos, that kind of ethics about how to behave in society or how to take care of other people. I went the distance and I didn't do it alone. There were other advocates that lived in the neighborhood. We pursued criminal action. We ended up in the Bunko division of the LAPD. They weren't really equipped,
What
but
is that?
that's
The
how
Bunko division.
Bunko fraud division. I don't
Okay.
know what Bunko stands for anymore. I knew then, but it's called Bunko fraud, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they were going to investigate him for fraud, for
Mm.
actually stealing the house, right?
Oh, thank
And
God.
other
Right,
types
right.
of
Yeah.
fraud.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not in terms of his having done anything, presented any physical harm to these ladies.
Mm.
But there was emotional abuse, there was financial abuse and fraud. And so they were pursuing the fraud part of it. That took a long time to even get to that point because there were all these other little agencies that I'm sure you've heard of, many of them, who really didn't want to take that kind of a case. So they finally referred me all the way to the fraud division of the LAPD. And they did present the case to the district attorney's office along with the Department of Health Services. They brought this case. And the district attorney, who was just starting this new division, took it on. And she found, based on a lot of evidence that I was able to provide, she kind of put me on her investigators list. She provided me with things to research, and we came up with enough so that she could take it to a federal judge. There was a preliminary hearing, but it wasn't a federal judge, a superior court judge, who found there was enough evidence to proceed with an actual trial. So that was, good news for us.
Wow.
So that really got me. It really got me, which is the impetus for why I started Impact PSA. I incorporated it, and our mission is to bring awareness to elder abuse via the media,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
broadcast media at the time.
Every day, thousands of senior citizens are being neglected by their caregivers. Elder abuse. There's just no excuse.
How long has Impact PSA been around for?
1997, I think.
Oh,
Okay.
So
29
like
years.
almost, yeah, yeah, a long time.
What do you see as the future of Impact PSA? Like, what is the work that you want to continue doing within that organization?
Well, we've done a bunch of PSAs on elder abuse, not some of which we did get on the air early on when we started. We were able to get things on the air for free, but as time progressed, the networks no longer have that requirement. So if you want to get it on the air broadcast, you have to pay. So you have to get the money somehow to pay for it, a fundraise. So one of the ways that we did that was to do low cost PSAs, short films for other nonprofits who wanted to use the media, visual media, to get their messages across or be effective for some other kind of change. So we did that to gain, but of course, nonprofits don't have any money either. So the
Right.
amount of money that we were able to get barely covered my production costs, let alone getting the spots on the air. But the production costs we were always able to keep down as well because of my having worked with a lot of crew and they had paying jobs then. I was always able to pay when I was shooting commercials. They would, work for a lower rate or free. A lot of them did that,
You're
donated their time. So I
sure
was able
your
to do that.
your artistic journey helping the impact journey,
Yeah,
basically. Yeah, funneling one to
exactly.
the other. If
Exactly.
because we love to at least be a platform of opportunity. If let's just say for so somebody was listening or watching this right now and they wanted to help you within your journey or help with the fundraising, where can they go? Can they go to Impact PSA? Is there a website? Like how could they donate to help you guys continue to do the work?
There is a website, impactpsa.org. What we're doing right now, and it's just going to fall into maybe something else you might want to talk about with me, not just take your job,
No, no,
but
please come on.
the World Elder Abuse Awareness Day that's
Yes.
coming up.
Yeah, it's in June, right?
It is. It's June 15th.
Mhm.
And what we're doing, even as we speak, is I have a casting director who has put out a flyer to social media influencers. And we are looking to change up our target audience to be a younger audience. So we're targeting young adults, which is why we decided we would go to influencers.
Great strategy.
Yeah, because some influencers have a lot of followers, some don't, and influence. But the fact that most younger people now are just developing their own agency in terms of what they can do. They easily can get our message out by saying, I didn't know about what elder abuse was. And probably you don't either, speaking to their followers. You don't either. So let me tell you what I've learned. That way we can get an exponential word out there, and maybe more younger people will get this
Yeah.
knowledge
Mhm.
and become aware that this stuff exists.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Absolutely.
mean,
Well, funny enough, that day is actually my birthday, June 15th.
Oh,
I
is
was gonna
it?
Yes,
say.
it is. It is. So,
Well, happy birthday in advance.
well, thank you. Well, thank you. Happy, what is it? It's
Abuse
World
Awareness
Elder
Day.
Abuse Awareness Day.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
But just kind of thinking in general, just thinking out loud, because to your point, sometimes maybe people might dismiss the elderly because they don't think, oh man, they've already lived here, or maybe like they might not be as in tune.
Yeah.
Their cognitive behavior might not be able to keep up, or they can't move as fast. So grandma or grandpa should just sit in the car, and it's like that's unfair because this person has been around way longer than you have. They've seen things that you have yet to experience. Maybe if you took the time to have a conversation, you could learn something. And then so I just think to myself, like I said, the wisdom I've been able to cherish from people who are older than me has been invaluable. And so we're just kind of having a conversation about what we would pass on to a younger audience or anybody listening. But I
I
think
think
that's,
you,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, no, please.
I think you just did a whole PSA right there.
That
Yeah.
little clip is gonna go on
It is.
socials. Yeah.
Yes. It was. That was beautifully put.
Mhm.
And yeah, I so agree with you. And if someone is having cognitive issues, all the more reason to be respectful and thoughtful of them, and not to be ridiculed, which is kind of what I do see, that people laughing at an older person that's having some kind of difficulty, whatever it may be.
If we could only be so blessed to see those days, what a blessing it would be. Can I ask you this on a brighter note? It's disrespectful for a man to ask a woman's age, so I'm not going to do that. But on a brighter note, as the beautiful years that you've lived, right? What's the meaning of life to you? What have you discovered thus far along your journey?
Oh, that's heavy. I have lived a long time, so I've discovered a lot. I've lived my life in the best way I think I could have. I tried to do the right thing by the way I lived my life. I didn't always fulfill my own expectations of what I ought to be. I have basically learned to respect other people.
You definitely are helping the world to be a better place. And I truly look up to you to be able to one day tell people that I tried, you know, and that is beautiful. And we truly appreciate your work and your presence today, and we thank you.
Oh, thank you, Jayden. I appreciate that.
So the fact of the matter that, you're walking your dog, you can stumble upon this incident and it can change your life for the better. And now you can advocate for other people who can't advocate for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, we never really know what our gifts, our talents, where our journey will take us. But you've taken your artistic journey and now you're helping other individuals be seen and heard, a marginalized group. And again, we need that. We need more of that. If in a world where we're so connected by devices, by our phones, by telephone, by the internet, whatever it may be, we're still so distant. So the fact of the matter that we can have this awareness, this is very, very much important. And that's why we started this show. That's why we want to have you as a guest. That's why we want to continue to have these topics, conversations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You have no idea.
On a lighter note, since you said on our travels, last question we'll ask you before we get out of here. What is a place that you keep close to your heart that you travel to, where you've made a significant memory?
New York City, of course. Yeah, I lived there for about 12 years. That's when I started in this whole thing.
Would you ever see yourself moving back or no? LA's your home.
LA, I think. Maybe having an apartment there or something I would think of doing. I'd have to check with Jim, my husband.
All right. With that being said, everybody, thank you so much in the Inspo Lounge. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Frequent Flyers. I am your pilot, Denzel Whitaker, joined by
Your co-pilot Jayden Choi, and we learned very important lesson. Please be kind to your elders, not just elders, to your people. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.
Peace.
This podcast is made possible with assistance from entertainment and media lawyer Gordon Firemark, who helps film, television, podcast, and digital creators achieve the impact they deserve.
Boarding Pass is a production of IYMS Films, available wherever you listen to podcasts. We hope you enjoyed today's show, and if you did, please share, subscribe, like, and review. We definitely want to hear your feedback, and we always appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next time.